Hello, welcome back to the Basement Card Collector. Today's video is going to be a video response to a young collector on the channel name of Crackerjack Cards. He's this young kid who's collecting vintage cards, which I think is super cool. I don't know how he has them yet at being at such a young age, but I watched a couple of his videos. Really cool stuff. He's asking for a video response of your Ultimate Hall of Fame lineup. I'm just going to show a couple of my cards here on my makeshift Wrigley Field studio here. Let's get started in right field. My all-time favorite player, Hall of Famer. I've shown a couple of his cards in the past, but I really love this 78 Topps Gold Cup card of my favorite, Andre Dawson. MVP, Rookie of the Year, Hall of Fame, All-Star, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, you name it. The guy is an absolute beast. So I'm in right field for me, Andre Dawson. Just a great looking card. We'll put him out here in right field. Moving on into center field, I don't have any Mickey Mantle, or I don't have Willie Mays, but in my era and my collecting days, it's hard to go wrong with this guy right here, Mr. Ken Griffey Jr., the iconic card of my childhood, like Mr. Crackerjack Cards. He's a young kid. When this card was out, man, this just seemed like it is the Mickey Mantle of my generation. And so I have a couple copies of it now, like everybody else who's collecting these cards. But man, it still feels really cool just to look this over and see that. There's a really cool story about this card. But center field for me, easy, no doubter, Ken Griffey Jr. Hall of Famer number 3. Moving into left field, I had a couple options I was going to go with, but I'm going to stick with my Cubbies. We're going to go Billy Williams. This is a 65 Topps Mr. Billy Williams, Hall of Famer, over 400 home runs. His number's retired at Wrigley Field. He's going to be my third outfielder out there in left field. Coming on into first base. Now, this one was kind of cool for me, and I'm thinking along the lines of a young basement card collector. When he was young, the Griffey Upper Deck was a card that I thought, man, I would love to get a copy of that. Well, after Andre Dawson retired, I moved on to my favorite player, number 2. It was a guy named Frank Thomas. And I actually have it in the same case. I want to show this thing. How about this gigantic case? I ended up getting this, I think, for a birthday from long ago, back when it was worth a lot of money. And somehow this case came along with it. It just made me think of this young kid collecting. Okay, so I thought, man, I could pick other Hall of Famers to put at first base, but me just getting a look just to go through and look at some of my old cards to post it for this VR for Mr. Crackerjack. I thought, man, I'm just going to show this giant case too. So I have him playing first base for me in this giant case. So bear with me. Big Frank is in a huge case. Moving on into Hall of Famer number 4, at second base for me was a no-doubter. And I don't know why he's not just the standard answer on everybody's team on this VR. We got Hall of Famer Cubby, Mr. Ryan Sandberg. And I just kind of pulled all 3 of these. This one is probably the famous card, which is an all-time classic looking card for me. But I also just pulled out all 3 of these. You can see I bought this for $9 a long time ago. They just always been setting together, the Donruss and then the Fleer. We bought all 3 the same day. I think he gave them to me for like $5 a piece, I want to say. But anyway, Mr. Sandberg, easily the coolest, best Hall of Famer, I think. I'm just going to leave the tops because it's my favorite, but just to show all 3 of those. Moving on into shortstop, I wanted to my first choice is easy. Mr. Ernie Banks. Just love this card, love the look. It's nowhere near his rookie card, of course, but I got it for a pretty good deal, and it's actually in pretty good shape. But I also kind of flip-flop between the Jeter 93 Gold. I have 2 copies of this, and I found this at a yard sale buy, which just blew my mind. Great looking card, almost like I know the SP, the foil card is really amazing, but this is pretty much an iconic card, I think. That 93 Topps and the 93 Topps Gold, it's in pretty cool shape. But when I think about my shortstop for my team, It's got to be the urn. Big urn. Moving over to third base for me. And again, I think there are several third basemen possible, but I really like this guy, Mr. Mike Schmidt. This is a 77 tops. He's just getting started there, 130 bombs. He went on to win several Gold Gloves, 500 home runs, just a real Hall of Famer, probably one of the top 2 or 3 third basemen. Brooks Robinson, yes, but I just like Schmidt. I think I like Schmidt just one step better. Third baseman Mike Schmidt. Catching for me, really, and I just caught him on the TV the other night at the Field of Dreams game. Actually, Sandberg was there, and Dawson, and Griffey, for that matter. They were all at this game that night. My catcher, it was kind of cool to hear him interviewed. Mr. Johnny Bench. Would love to have that gold cup of his, but it's just a little out there for me. But I do love this. I love the red, white, and blue logo on the top of Mr. Bench on the on the 78 tops. He's my catcher. And my pitcher, I just really love this card. Coming in for my Hall of Fame starting pitcher, Mr. Greg Maddux. And again, this is the 87 tops traded. Just a really clean card. If you look at his stats there, obviously there's minor league cards, but his rookie year pitched in 6 games, 2-4 with a 5.52 ERA. He'd go on to win over 300 games. So that's going to close out my Hall of Fame lineup. We'll put Mr. Maddux right here. Slide Johnny over just a scoosh. All right, guys, there you go. I'm going to leave this for my video response to a young collector in the hobby. Just looks like a pretty cool kid, and he's off to a great start with his collection. So if you haven't checked him out already, he's at 150 subs. I just looked before I started recording. Pretty cool. So thank you for the video response chance. Go give his channel a look if you can, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.